All right, so to answer the previous question, where is it stored? It's stored apparently in a browser local storage. I can't figure out exactly where with this simulator. There's a way to reset it, but it requires a plugin. I'm not going to worry about it. We're just going to leave the high score how it is. So the next thing I want to do is create enemies and have enemies spawn in and sort of follow me around. And if they hit me, then maybe my score drops somehow. Um, and or my timer drops or something, and that will add more challenge to the game. So let's create enemies. First thing I'm going to do for that is go back to my images, and let's see who's going to make a good enemy for us. Maybe not a fish. I want to see something that has animations actually. So let me create an animation, and then I'll have a base thing for that. We have the monkey, we have the dog, we have the cat chasing us, we have a bat. How about the bat? The bat can chase us around, or the snail's kind of funny, isn't it? We'll go with the bat though. The bat's going to be chasing us around. So let's click this, and we'll go enemy left. And yeah, this is a lot of work. It's pretty tedious actually. Enemy left, and then we'll create a new animation. Enemy right. Did the other one have its mouth open? I can't remember which one I chose. We'll have the mouth closed. Let me see which one I chose here. Okay, I chose the closed mouth. And you know what? I'm only going to have left and right. I'm not going to have the up and down. So even if it's pursuing me up and down, it's just going to be facing left or right. So that'll simplify things a little bit. If you want to go all out and do all the directions, you can. Did it even have all the directions? No, it only has left and right anyway. So we're just going to have a left and right on this. So let's create another thing for enemy here. We'll go gallery, and we need to find that bat. And by default, we'll have this one, maybe this one right here. Say enemy. Good, so now I've got my enemy icon, and I can place it onto my screen here. So let's create our enemy at the top. Let enemy sprite equal sprites dot create assets dot image enemy, and then sprite kind dot enemy. Perfect. And our place food is actually going to be very similar to our place enemy. So what we may want to do, because we want the food to place, we want the enemy also not to place directly on top of our player. So what we may want to do is actually update this to have behavior for either of them. So what we can do is say place object. We're going to call this place object instead, and it's going to take a value of a kind, and then that's going to be a type of sprite kind. Can I do that? Why can't I do sprite kind? Interesting. Because I want to pass in this sprite kind here. Kind. Let's see what this says here. It's going to say not assignable to parameter type number. Interesting. So this is actually going to be a number. Okay, we'll use that then. And so the kind is going to end up right here. And then we're going to change all these food sprites to object sprite instead. Okay, object sprite. Good. And then instead of place food, what we'll do is change this to place object. And we're going to pass in sprite kind dot food, like that. Good. That's exactly what it wants. And then I'm going to also do this earlier where we initially place it. And if we did this correctly, everything should still function exactly the same way as before. We just have a bat on the screen. So look at that. It actually does function the way we want it to. Now, how often do I want to actually place one of these? Well, I am going to take out this enemy sprite here because we're going to have multiple enemy sprites. So I'm going to cut this out. And then I don't want it to go crazy. I don't want it to go absolutely crazy and spawn everywhere. So we're going to use a game.on update interval. And this is milliseconds, number of milliseconds here. So I actually want to spawn an enemy maybe every, how about 4 seconds or something like that. And so we'll set that and we'll create our function here. And then we're going to say place object, and the kind is going to be enemy, sprite kind dot enemy, just like that. Okay. And okay, so the issue we have here is that the enemies are also being placed as food items. So the problem is that we have this right here. So we need to say if number or kind equals sprite kind dot food, then we'll say our object sprite will use this. Else we will use assets dot image enemy. And the problem now is it's declared here, so we're going to say let object sprite. I believe we can do it this way, and we just have it sitting here doing nothing, and then we take these out like this. And I think that works. There we go. So this is declaring that this is an object, and then this is setting values for it. So now I should have bats. There we go. We got a bat on the screen. And the bats are just going to keep spawning in every 4 seconds. And they're going to be beginning to chase me around. So in the next one, we will show how we will actually have them pursuing us and chasing us around.